I love what I do. I mean, I know it's so cliched, but I absolutely love. I love the people that I work with. I love my colleagues. I do believe the work we're doing is important. And if you don't believe the work that you're doing is important, don't come to work. I do believe the internet is making a big difference to so many people's lives. I believe it's bringing a voice to the voiceless in the past. I believe it's resulting in regime change. I believe it's creating more economic value. The more people that are connected, the better the world will become. So it's just important work, and that keeps me fired up every single day. And because I've got a young family, being in a better world, means that it's making it better for them as well. So I'm really excited about the journey that we're on. I was very, very lucky, and I don't think it was smart. I was just very lucky that I became friends who became colleagues with some of the smartest people around. And I think it's testament to most great leaders is that they surround themselves with superb people. I don't regard myself as a great leader, by the way, but I do think that I've befriended some amazing people. Been very, very fortunate. Smart people, like-minded, great values, hardworking, and really believe in what they do. And I speak quite a lot about the story, but I used to come in quite early, and it was a cold winter's morning, and I arrived at work, and there was a guy called Kezia who used to work for us, and he used to work so hard, and it was always about putting the client first. And anyway, I came into work. I'm a bit of a coffee nut. Went straight into the kitchen, started making my coffee. It was a cold winter's morning, and I heard a little bit of a noise, and I thought it was because it was winter. I thought it was rats. It was coming from the ceiling somewhere, and I kept listening, and I'm not a big rat guy. And then I heard again, and the noise was coming from the back of the fridge, and it wasn't a rat. It was somebody breathing quite heavily. So I looked behind the fridge, and there was my colleague, Kezia Cousins, sleeping. And the reason why he was behind the fridge, because it was kind of, that behind the fridge was actually the warmest part of the kitchen. And I woke him up, I said, Kez, what are you doing? He said, Saki, it was 4 o'clock in the morning when I finished helping a client. And it was too cold for me to get on my bicycle. Kezia used to come to work in flip-flops. Too cold for me to go home in the cold. So I found the warmest place, because he also used to come to work with short sleeves. And here was Kezia, having just serviced a client, sleeping behind a fridge. And I said to him, Kezia, you got to go home and shower, buddy, because it doesn't smell that good in this kitchen. So, it's just, there's so many of those stories. Another one about Andrew Klopper, which I speak fondly. We were under so much pressure from Nedbank. We promised them, I don't know how we promised them, we'd get online banking done in a week. We didn't even have software, we hadn't developed anything, and the only thing I could do was bring pizza to all hours. But I never forget Andrew Klopper, one of the smartest guys at IS. He used to work intensely, but he was smart. Nobody could talk to him. His eyes used to kind of do this, but he was just so smart. And here we are, kind of under pressure. I think the deadline was in 2 days' time. We had developed nothing. He said, look, all the work that we've done in the past, we've got to scrap because it just doesn't help us. And like all this, 2 weeks worth of work had just gone. He downloaded some freeware, and he started coding this new proxy for security for online banking. And we've got the deadline, and I'm watching the time, and we're running out of time. Anyway, like at 5 in the afternoon, I think we've just bought pizzas. He just stops doing what he's doing. He walks up, he gets up, and he just walks out. And we're like, where are you going? He's part of his personal social responsibility was to give back to the fire station. So he wanted to go and do some community work, and his time was 5 o'clock that time. So he got up, he left, he did what he had to do, because he also had his own purpose, but he also had the company purpose, because an hour passed, he came straight back, couldn't even blink, just sat back down, and he just carried on coding it. And I think about that quite fondly, because he somehow obviously got some inspiration from the work that he did, the voluntary work that he did at the fire station, that within the next few hours he coded what he had to do, and we met the deadline that we had to do. So just a beautiful little story that I always think about, the hard work that we do at IS. Nedbank was the first full online bank globally. When I say globally, we were not allowed to export a certain amount of encryption from the US, so we developed our own encryption proxy that allowed for full online banking. The first bank that allowed for statements to be viewed was a bank called Wells Fargo, and that was in the US. But outside globally, IS enabled Nedbank to be the first online bank that allowed for full online transactions across the internet, which is a great testament to the great company we work for and the great people that allowed that to actually happen.
Meow.